we're getting the Challenger clean, and I know you've seen me with this thing in the car wash is probably driving you crazy, but it doesn't matter. Perfect. All right, guys. Now today's video is a good one. You know, in these days with these cars, with all of the modules and all of the tracking available on these cars, you would think a shop would not be so fucking retarded. But unfortunately for these jackasses, somebody thought it was a good idea to get into my car in whatever condition it was in and drive it at over 100 miles an hour. Now I know when you hear that exhaust and you hear that, and you just hear that beautiful sound that it makes, I understand wanting to feel that. I get it, I do. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the driving the car over 100 miles an hour isn't really, I mean, it pisses me off, but what pisses me off is that they probably damaged something on the car when they did it. Now, some good people came out today from USAA and checked out the car, and they were, you know, I always thought the door and the fender didn't match, but then we looked at it today, and do you know what Neapolitan ice cream is? You know how they got 3 flavors? Well, my paint looks like that. The back quarter is one color of FA green, the door is another, and the front fender is something else. There's 3 different colors. But that's not what we're talking about today. You remember when we did the very first update video on this car, they didn't want me to see the car in the shop. It's the only time Collision Works did not want me in the shop to see the car. The only time. Red flag. But it was in the shop where I could see it from the lobby, and I was like, is that my shit? And then it looked, and I could see the Irish flag in some sort of disarray on the roof of the car. And remember, and I'm going to go ahead and put the image in here, you can see that she's primered all the way across the back, and look very closely at that trunk lid and tell me if it looks bent to you. Roll it. Now, I don't know about you, and you know, this is not Unsolved Mysteries. You know, I'm not Roger Stack. This is not fucking, you know, CSI and shit. I don't know by looking at that photo if I can tell it's completely wrecked, but I can tell you one thing: to have my entire ass end of my car disassembled for what? Never clicked in my brain. Well, the rabbit hole gets deeper. Let me continue. So I get an email, and I don't think anything of it. I get an email from the people over at Aces Exhaust. Now, if you don't know who Aces Exhaust is, Aces were the nice people that did the entire custom exhaust on this Challenger, on the Green Monster. And they're in Houston, Texas. And shout out to Shaker T for introducing me to them. And they've done everything else on exhaust on all of my cars since. They make custom tips where it had my initials, TK, on them, and it said Aces Performance Exhaust. Well, guess how many of my exhaust pipes say TK on them? 1. The one on the passenger side of my car in the rear, it says Aces Exhaust, and the reason why it does is because the wonderful people at Aces Exhaust got a phone call when the people at Collision Works, I guess, realized they did damage or whatever they did to the back of the car, and they ordered an exhaust tip from Houston, from Aces Exhaust, and had it shipped to them. Now, the reason why I know this is because the wonderful people at Aces Exhaust reached out to me to be like, TK, was your car in an accident? And I was like, no. And they were like, well, they ordered an exhaust tip. I didn't think anything of it. I figured maybe they got paint on it or something else. It never clicked in my brain, hey, these jackasses wrecked your car. So, needless to say, that happens, right? So that's the second red flag. The third red flag is I got all the telematics from my car. Thank you to Uconnect, and thank you to Sirius XM Guardian. I will be activating that shit on every car that I can put it in now. And let me tell you why. I know every time this car was started. No, let me also explain how I know that they drove it 307 miles. That's the mileage that is unaccounted for. 307.2 miles. Okay, that's the exact number. 300 miles. Cool. No big deal. So I set a geofence. If you don't know what that is, you can go into the Sirius XM app, Sirius Guardian, whatever, and through the Mopar app on your phone, right? The Uconnect app. And you can actually set a fence. So I set a fence. Hold on one second. Let me shift. I set a fence on my car for, I think, 2.5 miles. It's pretty significant. I didn't leave it short. I made a 2.5 mile geofence around the Collision Work body shop in case it had to go to another shop. I know there's another shop there in Norman that they may have had to take it to, whatever. And if it went farther, I would get a notification, right? Now, I have my notifications silent. I wasn't seeing them. But Uconnect reached out and they were like, yeah, go to your email, type this in, da da da. And guess, lo and behold, voila. I know every time the car broke the geofence. How many times did they drive the car outside of that 2.5 mile range? Over 9 that I've counted, that I went through my email and found out. That's not the biggest concern, right? The biggest concern is, TK, it's impossible. No way. This body shop, this is fake news. This is bullshit. No way that this body shop drove your car over 100 miles an hour. Okay? Well, for you, sir, eat a dick. And 2, I present Exhibit A. Now, last I checked, could there be a technological error that could say that the car drove over 100 miles an hour? That's going to be their excuse, I'm sure. But, nah, I think with how my rear trunk lid looks, which it looks damaged in these photos, and I think with the fact that you replaced one of my exhaust tips, which had my initials on it, was custom made, with one from Ace's Exhaust, that doesn't have my initials on it, but you probably weren't looking for that. And the fact that Sirius XM had you going over 100 miles an hour, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 fucking times. 4 times you had this car up over 100. Now, I know, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I personally know how easy it is to drive this car when you're accelerating on the highway and get it into the 80s, right? But 100, you got to really want to get there. And you're going you're getting into it. You're well into 4th gear, and you're probably at 4,500 RPMs easily. That would be my thought. So this is not like, oh, I didn't know I got to 100. And here's the thing. That's the speed warning. I don't know how fast. Well, we do have an idea. Let's take a look. So looking here in the center stack, we're going to look. That is the top speed from the time that the car was reset. 152 miles an hour. Did I get the car to 152 miles an hour? No. No, I did not get the car to 152 miles an hour. But some jackass did, and it wasn't me. Now, what does that mean? I think what it means is somebody at the body shop probably needs a reckless driving charge. That's 1, all right? 2, I have it on good authority that the shop is suspended forthwith from doing any insurance work, at least from my insurance company. And 3rd, I don't know, man. I know Gerber Collision just bought the company, but I don't know. And I'm not one to like to see people lose their jobs, but I got to keep it a buck here. I don't think there's any way that I can say not to, right? These people took a car that came in for a vandalism claim and proceeded to half-ass replace the carpet, fuck up the seats, not replace the seats, all kinds of shit, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, they totally jacked up this car. 100% jacked it up. And the people from USAA, they're now saying the same shit. Like, damn, you know, these people really fucked up your car. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I don't know, man. Somebody just saw me and told me to pull over. I gotta look and see who it was that just texted me. Alright, they told me to pull over, so let me see who this was. Anywho's, so we have instances of the car being over 100 miles an hour. Let me answer this. Hello?
Yo!
What's up?
What are you answering, man? You just passed me.
Oh, my bad, man. I literally just pulled over in the turnaround. I'm heading back up to the house, and then they said there's a meet at like 5 o'clock.
Oh, word. I just came back that way. I was like, dang, he took off.
Oh, yeah, no, I pulled over in the little turnabout. I just saw your message while I was filming. I was like, oh, shit, let me, I saw you calling, so I was like, let me answer this on the Apple Watch.
Are you right here? I'm gonna search you.
I'm pulled over on the side in this little turnaround shit.
Right by the hospital?
Yeah.
I see you there.
Oh, you driving the truck?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, let me set my e-brake. Yo, people find out you home. Shout out to Junie. Shout out to Junie scatpack. Now Junie works at the Mercedes dealership in Fayetteville, and so it was just cool. He just seen me coming the other way. He's like, I know there's only one green Challenger with a flag on it like that. That's got to be. I knew you was in town. I knew that was you. So shout out to him. I gotta see if I can find a link to his YouTube. I'll put a link in it down below. You should go check him out. And if you're in Fayetteville and you want to get a Benz, go see my dude, man. Anyways, so you know, for me, the biggest issue I had was that they wrecked it. Look, I don't even have an issue. I understand people wanting to experience the car and drive it, right? I don't even think it's the going 100 miles an hour is the problem. It's the top speed being at 152. Like, let me explain to you what that means. Like, if you lost control, like, you're dead in this car. I don't care what, 150 miles an hour, it's over with. You're done. And anybody else you hit is done. It's reckless as fuck. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I go to quarter-mile tracks. I could never hit 152 miles an hour in the current configuration that this car is at any point in time. It's impossible. The highest I've ever had this car, oh, school zone, I gotta slow down. The highest I've ever had this car is, what was it, 141? And that was at Scary Fast? No, it was 140, 139. 139 miles an hour at Scary Fast during the track event last year. And I had drag tires on the back to do that, okay? 139, 152? Jesus Christ. I mean, you're pushing, that's like turbo Hellcat range or modded Hellcat range in the quarter mile. The fact that what happened was somebody had it up on the highway and stretched your legs. I understand that. I never, ever, and I know you'd be like, TK, you're lying, but no way, man. Look, here's one thing I say. People try to get me all the time on the street. You know, like, hey man, let's go to the digs, let's go to the races on the street. I'm not doing that. You want to know why? It comes with jail. I'll lose my retirement money. You know what I'm saying? and I'd lose like security clearances and everything. No, it's not worth it to me. Why am I gonna go street racing? Not to mention, if you get caught, you know, if you get chased and get caught, they're taking your car. Like, that shit is retarded. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. I go to the track. I have access to go to the track. I understand, and let me keep it a buck, I also understand everybody doesn't have access to go to the track. And in those situations, well, you know, as long as you know what the risks are, that's on you, okay? But for me, I go to the track, and I go to tracks all over the country. I go to the Motorplex. I've been to Thunder Valley out in Oklahoma City. There's got a Thunder Valley here in Red Springs. I've been to Piedmont. I've been to Rockingham. I've been to, there's another one here that I went with Red Eye. I've been to tracks all over the goddamn place. Baton Rouge, Atlanta. I mean, I've been everywhere. If there's a track and I was racing, I've been there. All right, so I've been there, done it. So I just don't do it. So the fact that somebody at that shop had this car at 152 miles an hour, that concerns the shit out of me. Not to mention, I mean, my motor's built. I got forged internals, right? I don't have a stock engine, so it can handle that. But it's kind of like, you know, you could have mechanically screwed up my car. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen anything mechanically wrong with the car. The clutch feels good even when I slip it like that. And sometimes I do slip the clutch on purpose. But I have a Manta clutch. I have a racing clutch in this car. I missed fifth. So, you know, look, man, I'm just a little pissed off that these guys did that shit. You know, more so than they also did a shit job on my paint, which was confirmed today. You know, they in some way, shape, or form, they damaged the rear of my car. Did it happen when they were going 100 miles an hour? No, because this car would be done. But they backed it into something. They hit it with something. They did something. My tail lights do not match. You know, we found out that the tail lights are not from my car originally. And that's not cool, right? And then, you know, we found out that the plastic bumper on the back is not the original plastic bumper on the back from the car. So it's just little shit that you find, man, and it's just really pissed me off today. But I also have to be perfectly upfront and honest with you and say, USAA has been great. You know, since the supervisors and stuff that have got involved. USAA has been absolutely great. They have like not pulled any punches. There's not any issues about this, that, and the other. They just straight up have been solid all the way around. Like they took care of anything I needed to submit after that point. Now, I will be honest, I was pissed when we couldn't get, you know, the interior paid for to fix it after I had already, you know, we already agreed to it. We were going to get it done, and it couldn't get done. It was what it was, man. But I appreciate them for, you know, taking the time. You know, the gentleman drove all the way down from Virginia just to come take a look at my car today and see in person just how bad it was. And I appreciate it. And this shop in Oklahoma is literally going to get everything that they deserve for jacking my car up. I mean it. They get everything. They got everything they got coming. They did it to themselves. It's not me. I don't want people saying I'm picking on them or I've done them foul or fuck all of that. They did this shit. They wrecked my car. They damaged my car. They drove it at over 100 miles an hour. That shit is on them. But with that said, there you have it. We have actual proof and evidence now that they drove this car at over 100 miles an hour 4 times. We have indication that they damaged the car or hit something with the rear of the car. And the photos also back that up. We'll put all that stuff here at the end again, just because, you know, I'm petty. Hashtag Petty Roosevelt. Y'all know what it is. But, hey, man, there's a car meet today in Fayetteville, and people want to see me, so I got to come out. I got to go wash my ass and clean up and all that stuff, so I'm going to do that and and go link up with my peoples and see what's going on, because it's going to be one of the last times they get to see this beautiful ass green monster. Bad plastic. So I guess I can start calling the car Joan Rivers. Is that too soon? Was that bad? Joan Rivers with some bad plastic surgery. All right. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.